Extra wet it again.
Yeah.
Yo, what's really good? What's really good? You already know who it is. You already know what it do. Today we talking about Big Meech. Big Meech, fresh out. But I got a little story for you, man. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna tell the story. Shout out Urban Crimes. I'm gonna leave the information in the link. Let's go.
2007, Big Meech's run on the streets and the way he was getting money all ended when he pled guilty to a continuing criminal enterprise in violation of 21 U.S.C. 848 and conspiracy to launder money instruments in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1956. No bodies and no responsibility for anyone dying, even though some say he was a real gangster, one of the realest the streets had seen. He had power and people would follow him, do as he said. His plea was taken contemplating a sentencing guideline range of 360 months to life, based on a total offense level of 42 and a criminal history category of 2. On September 12, 2008, Big Meech would be sentenced to a term of 360 months imprisonment, or 30 years, by a good judge, some would say. The bottom of his guideline range. The judge could have given him life, but decided not to. Big Meech, an intelligent dude, had to know that his time would run out at some point. When you're getting big money, and sometimes people are getting laid down, it's bound to end. But did he ever contemplate that he would be in his mid-50s at the age of 56 when he would walk back out into the real world? In 2005, he would do an interview and say, everybody moved like brothers, and everybody from different places. Milwaukee, St. Louis, Detroit, Texas, Atlanta, Cali, Florida. Everybody move as one. Everybody is prospering in some kind of way in their own way. Every man plays his own role. Everything starts with the leader. I'm a good leader, so I got good people that follow. Simple. Publicly, he would tell the world on a DVD that he was the leader of BMF. This could have been the beginning of his demise. Sometimes being the man in public can come back to get you, and for Meech it did. The same with people like John Gotti. But the drug game, like all street shit, gets real. But how did it all start? And now, how did it all end? And how did one of the biggest drug dealers in the U.S. make it out of federal prison? In 1989, Big Meech and his brother Southwest T probably never imagined that growing up in Detroit, when they set out on their mission, that they would reach the status that they would. From a prison cell, Big Meech would say, if you want to know the reason for us getting in the game, it was just about being poor, man. We on welfare at the gas station with food stamps. We keep catching the bus with holes in the bottom of your shoes. That was the motivation. We got to do something. Fast. Once me and my brother got a real taste of money, it's like you don't ever want that feeling to go away. And from that desire, the Black Mafia family was born by the street smart, wildly ambitious, and bodacious Detroit-raised brothers, Demetrius and Terry Flannery, better known as Big Meech and Southwest T in 1989. And from that point forward, they never looked back, at least not until the feds were putting cuffs on both brothers. Through passionate aspirations, things would start out small. As they started getting money, they were looking to meet the big guys that could make all their street life dreams a reality, and soon they would. They would find a direct Mexican cocaine supplier, and then it got real. BMF, the Black Mafia family, would become one of the largest cocaine suppliers the U.S. had ever seen, transporting its products through a family-owned car service. By the early 2000s, BMF had established a flashy and nightlife-driven entertainment front that the world was watching, expanding across the U.S., including Alabama, Cali, Florida, the ATL, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, and Tennessee. From the South to the West to the Midwest. People would see them everywhere, and everyone that was somebody in the streets wanted to be a part of this organization that was getting real money. As Meech said, everybody is brothers, and everybody getting it. During its last days, BMF had over 500 members. They were strong in all ways. In the early days, just because they were getting money never meant that they were immune to the dangers that come with hustling in the street. In the late 80s, Southwest T was shot in the right eye and left with partial sight permanently. Big Meech, he too was shot and wounded on 2 separate occasions. Once in the neck outside of a Chinese restaurant in the late 80s, and another time in the ass during a 2004 shooting outside an Atlanta nightclub, following an argument with former Puff Daddy bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, who was killed in the altercation. And we all know about Puff Daddy and his crew as of late. Whether Wolf Jones was on ass, you'll never know. On the rise, Big Meech and Southwest T endured turf wars, conquering regional territories, survivor's remorse, and most of all, the scars that come with war. People have seen the lives that youngsters growing up poor in the hood had glamorized in BMF. Kids in the hood, a lot of times, glamorize drug dealers because those are the only role models they ever really see. And Big Meech and Southwest T were once those youngsters, but now they had become those men that young kids glamorize.
Don Lee the Great. Don familiar to Empire. Yeah. Hopping out that car with that free throw. I'ma do this here for the West Coast.